Hey, this is Mike with Drumline. I got a special guest today, Chad Sexton from 311. And man, this guy playing tonight at the Pageant. We're hanging out in the Halo Bar a little bit right before sound check. But Chad's going to give us a little rundown of what's happening with the band in general, and we'll get more specifics.
Yeah, so we put out a new record this year. It's our 12th record. And like you said earlier, in a way, it's kind of like starting over. And we've been going a long time, 27 years. And so there's a lot of ups and downs through that, long period of time. But we've had some success in the 90s, if you don't know about us. And then a little bit in the 2000s as well with Amber and Love Song from The Cure that we covered in 51st Dates. Hell of a movie, by the way. But yeah, it's been a long time, and we've been chugging along, and now we're real excited with the extra energy that we got going on in our new album, Mosaic, and was released about a week ago or so. And a lot of tunes on there, 17 songs, and we're incorporating a lot of new things this tour, a lot of new production, a lot of new drums and drum solo type of things, and we're ready to go ahead and start building this back up again.
Chad, you sold out the Pageant in like 5 minutes. I mean, you're acting like, well, blah, but this is 311, man. This is one of the coolest, best live rock bands. It's actually since Rush retired. Can I make Rush references? Absolutely. Because you're a Rush fan, I think.
Yeah, big influence.
And since they retired, sorry, 311 is my favorite live band. Sorry, Rush. You're playing golf, but these guys live. I mean, there was a review that said, they're better live. Man, the energy on the record's great, but when you see the band live, the energy is just, it's monstrous. It flows into the crowd, back to the band. It builds, It stops. You guys turn and stop on a dime. You shift gears and it's seamless, and you're very precise, but you don't lose that groove. Talk about your history, your background, and how come you're so smooth on the transitions.
Well, I guess for the band's musical history, we're very varied in what our influences are. So that's why we have a lot of different styles and we have a lot of different changes. And like you said, like we can, turn on a dime in this way and that way, and it's seamless. And that's due to the fact that we're inspired by a lot of different styles of music. And then it also has to do with I guess the type of musicianship that we're into, and that we're into musical execution, and that we practice that. And I got a little bit of history with drum corps. I marched 5 years in drum corps, so that sort of helps with my precision. And but it's a very fine line to have precision and groove at the same time. So there's a fine line there. You don't want it to be too robotic, but you want it to sound really clean and really good, but you don't want to lose kind of the soul behind the groove and the reasons that the groove was written. So it's a fine line, and I have a great time each night I play to try and find that fine line. And some nights are more successful than others, and that's just the nature of the beast. But it's always great to try and accomplish that, and I'm always up for the challenge every night. And at this point, after 27 years, still get excited about trying to do those sort of things. And I think that's what we're trying to do on our records lately, is we're trying to really mix intricate parts and precise parts on the bottom of it, while you can totally enjoy the song and sing on top of it. And so we've tried to do that a bunch throughout our careers, and luckily I think we kind of nailed it on this record, and so we're happy to move forward and keep trying to find that fine line, and have great live shows.
Well, you're a live band. You guys talk about, should we give away? Well, the record just came out, Mosaic, and I was like, did they do what I think they did with that cover? Do you want to talk about what you did on the cover, because it's amazing? Or should people look at the cover and figure it out?
Oh, we can talk about it. It's really from the fact that, between our successes and everything, it's really our fan base that keeps us going, and we owe a lot to them. And we're in this symbiotic relationship with them, and so we decided maybe it'd be best to have them on the record cover, that is. And we made basically a mosaic of everyone that submitted over like about 10,000 photos to make up our album cover, and just kind of a simple gesture towards our fans and letting them know we think about them the whole way, and that's pretty much what's gotten us this far. And so we wanted to kind of stoke them out, and we did that, and album cover turned out great, and I think the fans are real excited about it. And we talk about it a lot. Our fans are very important to us. We talk about it with almost every song that we make. We'll be playing stuff, putting stuff together, and be, or the hardcore is going to like this, is this, and we try our best to stoke everyone out, and then on this album as well, we're trying to branch out and capture some new fans as well. And so we have that fine balance going on as well. A lot of balance on the record, but yeah, we're happy with how it turned out, and we're hoping that the fans like the album cover and appreciate the new album.
Well, I'll take my journalism hat off for a second. I love that record, and I've heard it just a few times because it just came out. But I was just like, man, the Blue album, a little closer to my heart as far as, when you put that on and you play it all the way through, there's something there.
Right.
And I had a little footnote in history, and we talked about that earlier, but just because it emotionally is something there for me. And I was like, I don't know, man, if I'll ever hear anything that's going to be better than that. And I turned that Mosaic on, and I'm like, damn. So there's my review for Mosaic. Damn good. Pretty simple review, but you got to hear it. So you can check samples on iTunes, and you can go to 311.com for all the news and things. Okay, another thing about the record cover I'd like to say, it's kind of also a reflection of all your styles together, because the Mosaic definition is different things coming together in a larger whole, maybe. Mm-hmm. You guys mix everything. The reggae for me is pretty prevalent, but you play it's rock, it's jazz, everything. So everybody's so different, having 5 different personalities, of course, different instruments, and then energy shifts because you're the rock and Peanut is, but the further geographically and sonically you get from the drums, the crazier it gets. Yeah. Are you pushing and pulling a lot? Are you reining these guys in and cutting them loose? And what is your role back there? Your concentration has to be stellar, but what are you thinking?
Well, the concentration is key. I really got to practice that in drum corps. It's such a beneficial thing if you're a musician to work on those sorts of things every day. But every groove is different. Yeah, and some you have to push, and some you have to lay back on. And it changes through history. As you age, you change, and so how you were playing a song when you were like 23 is not how the same I play it at 46 in terms of the way I'm thinking about it. I play the same notes, I play the same patterns, but the way I have to think about it and the way I have to groove it sort of changes with time. And it's a lot of people might find that troubling, but I once again look for the challenge of it, and I really like it, and I like trying to find the best way to play songs even this late in our career. So in terms of how I'm thinking on stage with all the songs and stuff, it's pretty much it's always go with nature, but sometimes you have to think about things. Oh yeah, I got to remember to pull this back, I'm pushing this too hard, and so it's a push and pull through the whole set. And so, like, once again, I love doing that. I love trying to find the one lane which has the groove, and it's always not the same technique. Even for different rooms that you play, different rooms have different slapbacks, and so if you're using your ears to the room, you tend to slow down because you're hearing a long slapback, and so the tendency of the band might be to slow down when they're hearing that, but so that night I'll know I got to stay on top of most of this stuff, so, but I love doing it, I wouldn't be happier doing anything else. And like I said, drum corps is a huge part of learning all that and being aware of all that, and so I owe a lot to that whole industry right there.
I'll give you a Charlie Watts quote because you just talked about this. He said that you don't get better as you get older at playing, but you get better at putting across what you're about. I mean, you kind of discussed that, but I would say that 311 is still ascending. And some of that's true, having the experience, but you guys are just getting better technically. Do you feel like you're getting better technically as well as communication-wise?
Yeah, I do. Communication is way better when when you're older and more mature. It seems to work out a little better if you just communicate and know that there's no big deal because you got through 20 plus years of it already. But yeah, it's I do think we're getting better. I feel like, I recorded shows when I was 23, 24, 25, and I'll go back and listen to those in my playing, and I enjoy it. It was a different thing. But if I'm judging myself, which of course I'm probably have tunnel vision and a little bit of a bias, but I think I'm better than I was back then. And that's what our audience tells us. We're getting better, and I don't know if they're just being nice or they really hear that, but as far as like being inside it, I definitely think we're improving. We're definitely gaining, and when you're doing that, it's so easy for me to be into it. I guess when you're treading water or you happen to be on a decline, those are the hardest things to be inspired about. But you'll need to do it if you want to continue, because life is not a straight up or straight down scenario. So, but we just do our best in those times. And as of last couple of years, I feel like, man, I think I'm playing better than last year. So at this sort of age doing that, I'm real happy doing that. And it's turning out real good, I think.
Well, you guys had some adversity just starting, and I like the story, and you can laugh about it now, but at the time your RV caught on fire, you lost everything. Yeah. Talk about your fans. Your fans came to the rescue back then, and your families, of course. Yeah. But talk about that just for a second, the support you've gotten, and you're really giving back the love on this record with what you talked about earlier. We talked about just for a second, your fans growing with you from music, which was your first signed thing, to Mosaic. Yeah, that's right. Which little changes along the way, and all that growth and some adversity, but persistence, kids. Yeah. It pays off. So talk about that.
It really helps in life when you're motivated and inspired to do something, and that's why everyone should choose something they love to do, so that inspiration is inherently written in the things you want to accomplish, because you have a lot more energy and effort to accomplish those things. And so that's kind of where we're coming from. And yeah, we had ups and downs as we went. And yes, music in 1993, our first record, to now 2017, such a long period of time. And like I said, ups and downs, but I think it's mostly how you handle the down periods, to determine whether you'll have another up period or not. So like I said, we just do our best when things aren't clicking, and we always get that thing to fall back on, that, well, this is what I love to do, so I'm going to continue doing this until something stops me, and so that's where we're at right now at this point. And yeah, it's such a long period of time, 27 years to think back through all of it. But yeah, we had an unfortunate incident in 93 or 94, and lost all of our gear, and then played a show the next day in Omaha, and then jetted back to California to kind of regroup and rebuild. And we had a lot of help through friends and friends' parents and stuff, and loans that we took out and paid back. But yeah, it's been a long ride, and like I said, the number one thing to get through it is the fact that we love music, the fact that we love doing what we're doing. And even though in some periods we had to tread water, we still love what we're doing, and we always hoped and knew that we could have another, sort of run that we're satisfied with, an album that we're satisfied with, and that we are totally satisfied with Mosaic and how it's turned out, and so excited to get out here and finally play these songs.
That record's mind-blowing, and to project you guys into the future off of that is, I wonder what that's going to be like, and I'm looking forward to that. And from a selfish perspective, it's like, thanks. And I'm going to expect, you've raised my expectations even higher of what you guys are capable of. It's amazing. Thank you. It's amazing. The reason I went through all that adversity and things catching on fire was because of respect for your work ethic, your persistence, and what you guys have accomplished. But 311 is tons of fun. I mean, you guys are motivational to a lot of kids. Party, you know, and the music's, you know, with the reggae. It's also, you know, talk a little bit about, you know, the joy in your music, the including like 311 days that you have, the cruises, and just some of the fun aspects, the fun aspects of the band.
Yeah. So, yeah, in all this interview, I forgot to mention just the basic outlook of our band, and the reason why we make the music we do is we find it's kind of rare in the world, but we want to have a celebrational energy with our music, and so a lot of it is geared towards celebrating, being positive, uplifting people that are down, having a great time, celebrating your life. That's really kind of the philosophy in a nutshell of what we're about and the reason we make our music. And we like stoking people out. We love to see people have a great time. And as you know, if you look around the world, people kind of need this influx of positivity and fun, so they can have a reason to celebrate and hopefully go back home and never watch the news again. But that would be my wish. Nobody watch the news no more. Okay.
Done.
You can't do anything, and you don't need it. You don't need it.
Just watch the sports and the weather.
Sports and movies, and even some movies are questionable. But anyway, we just come from a big celebrational point of view, want to help people out, and want people to have a great time. And that's an angle we took a long time ago when grunge was big, and it was real heavy and slow and low, and you know, we were like, let's get this going, let's party, you know. And so it's kind of lasted since then, and we're now here still doing the same thing because we're still motivated and inspired to do that sort of thing. And but yeah, that's basically where we're coming from on the music.
Well, I get to take my journalism hat off. One last statement. They had, as a fan of 311, definitely had that effect on me. And all those things I wanted to say and ask you, you said them all: celebrate life, and all that good stuff. So I would say life without music is a mistake, and life without 311, man, you're missing the party, man. So there's plenty of opportunity with these guys just rocking it still to get involved with this. I mean, it's so much fun, so much joy. So thank you so much, Chad Sexton. Thank you, 311. And we're going to have a wonderful show tonight at the Pageant.
Yeah, thanks for the interview, man. Peace.